All right, let's talk about how coaches evaluate their year and then plan for the next one, because we don't want to drag all the things that we didn't do right from last year into the new one. Let's go. Okay, I'm going to talk about the three things that most coaches just really don't do. And the first one has to do with traffic. It's that simple. And whether you get it organically or you get it through ads, you have to have enough traffic. And ideally, you want to do both. And because, as I say all the time, there's organic and ads have this symbiotic relationship where they work together, and that's the best way to do it. If you're reliant on one or the other, you're going to get burned at some point. You just haven't gotten enough eyes on your offers. That's why you didn't do as well as you wanted to. You didn't get enough eyes on your emails. You didn't get enough eyes on your content. These are the things you need to focus on in order to sell more. It's that simple. I'm not talking about followers. I'm not talking about likes. It's not that those things aren't good, right? It's good to get more followers, okay? But that doesn't necessarily mean more eyeballs on your stuff just because you're getting a whole bunch of followers. Or if you have a reel or something go viral, that's great, but did it really attract your ideal people, or did it just attract a bunch of people who are never going to buy from you anyway? What I want you to focus on is getting the right traffic to see your offers, getting as much as you can, and that's what you focus your days on. So another question would be to ask yourself is, did you generate, traffic intentionally? Did you rely on the algorithm to do the work? We all know how disappointing that can be. I mean, it is for me. Did you rely on referrals? I've done ads for roughly 20 years, not just Facebook, with Google and YouTube and whatnot. And, I get referrals all the time. I get referred in groups all the time. People will throw my name out there. I don't even know these people. And I was grateful. I was grateful that they did that. And this has been a few years ago. But sometimes it just happens. The problem is you can't rely on that. That's not a way to run a business. That is just extra. You have to be able to generate leads on demand. I know how to do that. Do you know how to do that? That's what you want to be focused on. That's what you do. You drive traffic to get more eyes on your stuff. Number two is about tracking. Man, I cannot tell you how often I talk to coaches, and when I'm trying to get their metrics out of them, they have no idea. And if that's where you are, fix it. Most coaches track their effort, not really the outcome, if that makes any sense. They're really looking at all the busy work that happened, not the end figures. The ones that are doing seven figures, all my clients that do seven figures, they track their outcomes. They do it consistently, without fail, every week, and review it every month, every time. There is no exception to that. So you should know, roughly, and this doesn't have to be perfect, how many people saw your offer in a given week, how many conversations got started, how many calls got booked, and how many clients did you get? Those things you have to know on a consistent basis, because if you don't, then you're not going to understand where you're missing the boat, right? What's not working. So tracking is crucial. You don't have to use some elaborate spreadsheet or tracking software or any of this other stuff. You can do a Google sheet and just put basic columns on it. Super simple, just track it. Number three, evaluation. So what most coaches do is they react. They don't really evaluate. Like, they put out some organic posts and the organic post didn't work. So instead of, figuring out what part might have been good and what parts might have needed to be improved upon, they completely change everything at once instead of following a system. Or maybe you have a system of putting out posts that are, this day you're going to put out a hack or a tip or trick. This one you're going to put out a testimonial. This one you're going to put out, pure content, whatever it is. You're going to put out your story, whatever that is. Few coaches stop to ask, okay, what parts of this didn't work? How many times did I put it out there? What were my results of putting this particular kind of post out there, or this kind of reel? What happened? So instead, they focus on other things like changing up their offer or changing their platform or some kind of new strategy that they just heard about that they thought, might be good, instead of figuring out what worked. We do the same thing in ads. We're trying to figure out which ad gets the most traction, which ones actually convert into leads, into good leads, which ones actually turn into, DM conversations, which one turn into sales. We will have to know all that. And so You have to be able to evaluate and then pivot. It's not good enough just to know that you got a bunch of new leads in. You have to know which of those, where did they come from, and actually turned into the most sales. That is crucial. Now I'm going to talk about the 5 things you need to do. Okay. One, I know you're going to be shocked at this after I went on and on about it, but it's traffic. You need to pick one primary platform. Where are you going to get your traffic from? Are you going to do Instagram? Are you going to do Facebook, YouTube, TikTok? It doesn't really matter. Pick one. Your clients, your potential clients, they're on all of them. I will say that I probably wouldn't pick LinkedIn, just so you know, but you can try it. I mean, if you're going to commit to it, it will work. It's just a little different how you have to do things there. But pick one primary platform. Commit to doing both organic posting and running ads, even low budget ads. You don't have to, spend $5,000 every month. That's not what I'm talking about. Although you could. I mean, then the more you spend, the more you should get. I mean, that's how it works. But start off with $5 a day, whatever it is, but you need to be learning how to do ads to get your traffic. So you want to do a combination of organic and traffic. So stop bouncing around on platforms. Stop thinking about how you're going to be able to repurpose this and that. It's good to repurpose, and that's cool if you can hand it off to your assistant or something. They can do all the repurposing for you, fine. But if you're having to manually do any of it, stop it. Focus on one platform and dominate it. I mean, that's what people don't want to do, is they don't want to focus on one. You need to focus on one and dominate. Your goal is to get consistent eyeballs on your stuff every single week. That's it. Number 2, one conversion event. And what do I mean by that? I don't mean do just one the whole year. I mean pick a method. Going to do a webinar? Great. Going to do a workshop, whatever you want to call it? Great. Going to do a challenge, live event, whatever it is, pick one. Don't try to switch back and forth. Okay, you can do that later on, but until you get one dialed in, it doesn't really matter. You've got to get one dialed in that you know works. You do it, you evaluate it, you adjust, and you move on. Okay, and then you do it again, and then you do it again, and you keep doing it again. I have heard so many times from so many coaches that'll say things like, well, I think people are getting tired of this one. No, they're not. Most people aren't even showing up. So how could they possibly get tired of it? And if you're getting new eyes on it, those people haven't even seen it. So if you're doing step number 1, step number 2, you can stay with the same one all the time. Stop rotating formats, rotating, the type of event. Just pick one and do it, and keep doing it. Do it as often as you can. Here's number 3. Pick one offer. Don't create another one if you already have one. The thing you have to do is you've got to fix your traffic and your conversions first. You don't need another offer. Another offer is not going to fix this problem. If you've sold your offer at all, at least a few times, you don't need to fix that part of it. You might need to tweak it, in other words, but you don't need to change it, if that makes sense. Here's number 4, weekly tracking and evaluation. Know your weekly numbers, your traffic, your conversations, your calls booked, your sales, those kinds of things. And then ask yourself, okay, well, what worked? What didn't work? What gets doubled down on, right? Once you find something that's working, you double down on it. Do it again. Marketing will get boring for you. It's not going to get boring for them. It's okay for you to get bored with your marketing when it's working. And good marketing, for us, is boring, right? Because we keep saying the same ads. I have a client that I have one client that I have ran the same ads for like 4 or 5 years. It's the same ad. It wears me out. I hate it. I always think she's going to, get disenchanted with it because we're not doing enough, right? But she loves it because it brings in consistent clients, and we're going to ride that as long as we can. So just make sure you're doubling down on the things that work, and don't worry if you get bored. Number 5, 80-20 your focus. Focus 80% of your focus on the high value tasks that generate conversations. That's it. Okay? Stop focusing 80% of your time on busy work or on low leverage tasks. So things like, tweaking your logo or setting up a new funnel or changing systems, stuff like that is very, very, very low leverage stuff. Quit doing it. You don't need to do it. It's not going to fix anything anyway. Focus on the high leverage stuff like your content, better emails, outreach, ads. Learn how to do ads if you're not using them. You do the things that generate more of the right traffic to your offer. I'm talking about the posts that really get people to respond, that you're your ideal people. So, if you normally get 2 comments and you created a post, now that you got 6 comments, keep on that. Keep doing that. Do it again. Do it again, but better. Do it again, but longer. Do it again, but shorter. Keep going. Same way with your emails. One email gets a better response here, one gets a better response there. Whatever it is, focus on that and double down and do that. 80% of your time needs to focus on that. The other 20% can do the busy work if you want, but use 80% of your time on the high leverage stuff. I hope all that was helpful. And remember, this year doesn't need to be complicated. If it's complicated, then you're probably not doing something right. Okay? So what I would suggest is just take a breath and focus on the single things that actually get you results, that actually get you more clients and get you more conversations and those types of things. Keep it very simple. So if you're not running ads, right, if you're not familiar with how to do it, or maybe you've been doing it and didn't work out, and you just want to make sure you're on the right track, I have this thing that's called 10X with ads. Right now you can get it for free. So it is like a full ads course. You're going to love this. And I go over the 4 biggest strategies that most coaches use to generate clients and how they run ads to them. So I go through it all. There's videos, there's everything you can think of, so you can have it. Just click the link below, and that's it. Oh, you know what I didn't ask you to do is subscribe. Please subscribe. All right. I'll see you next time.